Hi, welcome to Ava Aware. Today we're going to cover rules. Rules are an important part of any security environment. This allows us to detect and alert to any specific audio or video events that are relevant in my environment. So I'm going to click to add a rule, and I'm going to name this rule, new rule 1. And we're going to go through the different types of rules that we can choose from here. We'll start at the end. Within counts, we can choose to detect any time that we have more people or vehicles above or below any specific threshold that we deem important. So this could be 50 vehicles in a parking lot, 50 people in a department store, and we can choose whether or not this number or this value has held for either zero amount of time, so an instant change, the 50th person walking in will trigger this rule, or if this has held for a number of minutes. So we're looking at a sustained count, whether that's vehicles or people. We can also trigger based on search history. So if we just made a search for people in a red shirt, I can create a rule very quickly just by importing that previous search history. We can also detect based on sound. So in this case, we can detect any time that our Ava Aware cameras have detected things like glass breaking, or a loud noise, or a smoke alarm, or many of the other audio detections that are being added with every release that is coming out. This allows us to immediately notify first responders or security team if there is something that is very relevant and important going on beyond just the video detection that we're seeing on the platform. We can also look at loitering. So loitering refers to any person or vehicle that has been in a specific place for an extended period of time. So this can be either any object or specific to people that may be hanging out behind a loading dock or in a restricted area. And we want to know any time that person is in this place for more than a minute, 5 minutes, hours at a time. Same thing refers to vehicles. If you are an airport and you have a vehicle that has been stationary for an excess of 5 minutes, you may want to nudge employees to take action. Same thing in any restricted area. We can also look at line crossing. So line crossing is specific to any person or vehicle. In this case, we can choose either any object or one of the two. And then we can choose the location that we are looking for this line crossing event. So in this example, if I wanted to look at any time a vehicle or anything crosses this virtual line, I can draw that line. I can choose the direction of travel. So in this case, only when this vehicle backs out, then I can notify the team as appropriate. So this could also be focused on an emergency exit, a parking lot entry, the front door of a store, whatever scenario is appropriate for your environment. And then lastly, we can also do appearance searches. So this also applies to either people or vehicles. And we can exclude stationary objects. If we only want to see objects in motion, we can choose to do motion only by clicking this checkbox. And that applies typically to things like pictures of people, pictures of vehicles, reflections, things that may not be moving because they're not actively in motion. So you have the option to always choose that, but we work great in both scenarios. And then you can choose, just like we did before, which cameras we are looking at. So if we're looking at the back of the store, as well as maybe the register, we can choose from these cameras. We can choose an area of interest. So if I only wanted to see the data or the portion of a frame that was on the bottom versus the entire view, you can choose whether you want a combination of the two by drawing these squares, or by simply just allowing the full view of this location. Next, we can go into the date and time. And so this allows us to choose from either any pre-created templates, which can be created by the customer if you have specific working hours or specific events that you want to key into, or manually by saying either I want this to always trigger, or I only want it to work on weekdays after working hours, which may be something like 1700 to, let's say, 2100. So you can layer on these different time frames in order to find the exact moments in time that you want to be monitoring for these alerts. And then you can choose the actions that occur when this violation happens. So this action can be something like a pop-up, and this pop-up can be presented on either a desktop or a laptop via your browser, and this can be for all users or it can be for specific users. So I can choose that I want Neil as well as Joel to receive these alerts in particular. Now we can also send these out via email. So if you want to send out an email to a mailer or to a specific user, you can create a message template using the variables below in order to notify the team if there is an audio alarm where we have a smoke detector going off, or someone has gone through the back door. Whatever situation you are addressing, you can customize this template for that environment. We can also share a link. This allows us to create a link that is valid for only a specific number of days. That makes it very easy to share if a team did need to send this to first responders or another security team. It ensures that this alarm is active and available for anyone that needs it. And then lastly, we have webhooks. And webhooks allow us to integrate to any third-party platform out there. Webhooks are a very common method of integration in any new technology out there. This includes Twitter, this is Slack, this is Twilio for text messaging. Really, you name it, you can combine these, and you can combine one or multiple webhooks here in order to ensure that you're triggering a relay or you're sending a message as appropriate, depending on the type of rule that you've just set up. And so once I've created these different actions and I've combined one or multiple, you'll be able to click Done down here. And this allows you to then modify the new rule that we just created, make sure that all the settings are correct, and you will start to see events occur over in the Alarms and Events page. And so anytime we have something like a glass break, or we have anything else here, we're going to see that relevant information set up so that we can see the glass break, we can respond, and we can take action.